Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So this is part 2 of, are humans frugivores? Are we designed to eat mostly fruit? I say yes. And no, I didn't read the article. I'm just going through it with you, but I still say yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, when I think of how my cells just sing when I have fresh fruit, oh my gosh, how happy the smells make us. I mean, it's just good. It's just good. So I started this yesterday. Go back to part 1. I'll put it as part of the description of this video. And it was talking about intestines and acidity. Acidity, my gosh, acidity. I don't know. But how the length of our intestines allows for digestion of plants. The intestine shape, again, supports plants. The digestion time supports plants. Relationship to fiber definitely supports plants. The pH being a 4 and a 5, unlike those who eat meat, which is a 1, supports plants. Of course, the shapes of our hands support plants. Our mouth supports plants. Our sense of smell and being attracted to fruit, our eyesight and loving the bright colors, our eyes designed to see yellows, reds, and blues, unlike dogs and things. So many things say yes, yes, yes. Our repulsion to the smell of dead or rotted meat, hello. The amount of sleep that we require, I mean, all of those all say yes, yes, yes. And then I kind of skipped the history of the hominid. I just wasn't going to really go there. And that's just personal, but you're welcome to read this, of course. And then finally, it says there's no single ancestral diet. When you take all of the above evidence into account, the overall picture is that there isn't one ancestral diet to our species. We've evolved throughout many times, living in many places on the globe. This was a point emphasized by Peter Unger, who's a professor of paleontology for Scientific America. Our ancestors ate different diets based on the region in which they lived. We're survivors. Humans are survivors, let's be fair. Depending on the time of year, too, different plants are in bloom and different game is present. Game meaning animals. The flexibility of our diet has been one of its most characteristic features, no doubt. So let me go down here to the part I was just ending on yesterday. One moment, please. It's a really long article. It's an interesting one for sure. I think it was one of the other things that was referencing if a fruit diet is appropriate, and it talks about glycemic index. And it says, this is what personally led me to move away from a high fruit diet. The individual who wrote this. 1 second, please. Don't you hate it when you're being hijacked? There's like an ad on the bottom here. I don't want your ad. And what I would love would be the little X where I can say, leave me alone. Oh my gosh, nothing is truly free. You know how they say there's no such thing as a free lunch? They ain't playing. Ultimately, we have to pay somehow even to read this content. So it says fruits contain simple sugars, and while fruit is much healthier than processed sugar, it can still cause issues in high quantities. For me specifically, I noticed that eating high sugar fruits like bananas and dates worsens my acne. I'm sorry this person has acne to begin with, and half wonder why eating a really solid plant-based fruit, vegetable, and healthy fat diet didn't clear up that acne. It's widely acknowledged that processed sugar is bad for acne, but most people don't realize fruit can cause the same problems. I've heard from multiple other high-carb vegans that all bananas exacerbated their acne too. If you're struggling with acne, you really need to read my big post on how to clear acne as a vegan. Whatever. Sorry, whatever. Let me keep going. Okay. I have opinions on everything. It's really hard for me to hold back when I want to counter argue every single statement. Okay. let's get to the part where we ended yesterday, which was, what do the longest living populations in the world eat? When it comes to determining the healthiest diets for humans, I often think of the blue zones. Blue zones are specific populations in the world that have the most centenarians and a longer life expectancy in general, and that means 100-year-olds, right? People living in blue zones tend to eat plant-focused diet. Meat is only eaten about 5 times per month on average, and the serving size is about the size of a deck of cards. Okay, yes, for people who are transitioning, for people who feel like, I can't possibly do it, that is exactly right. To maybe have meat 5 times a month instead of every single meal like people eat today. Every single meal. You can hardly go, first of all, most people live in food deserts, which is so sad, where there's no live food at all, and they have to have everything frozen and then fried, which is tragic. But no matter what, you do not want to exceed 5 times per month. And if everybody did that, we could seriously make a dent in cleaning up the CO2 emissions and just in general, the planet. That would be amazing. Okay. But what kind of plants are they focusing on? Is fruit central in any of these longest living populations? Here's how much fruit each population eats. Okay, there's Loma Linda, California, which is about 27% fruit. Acaria, Greece, which is 16% fruit. Nicoya, Costa Rica, which is only 9% fruit. Sardinia, Italy, 1% fruit. And Okinawa, Japan, less than 1% fruit. This is very interesting to me, seriously, because I'm wondering if they're honestly clarifying that fruit by definition means anything with seeds, right? So many things that we eat, from the tomato, hello Italy, to, obviously so many bell peppers, cucumbers, just all the things that have seeds that we call vegetables, right? Okay, so it says, not super high in fruit. Being hijacked again. I'm so sorry. Please let me go. Please let me go. I don't want to read your thing. Let me go. It's bound to happen. Okay. So it says, so not super high in fruit. Some of them eat almost no fruit, percentage-wise, and they still live far longer than average. What foods do these populations eat the most of? Here's the biggest piece of pie for each. In Loma Linda, California, it's 33% vegetables. In Acaria, Greece, 37% vegetables. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, 26% whole grains. In Sardinia, Italy, 47% whole grains. And in Okinawa, Japan, 67% sweet potatoes. Nice. Nice. You're probably guessing what just happened again. I am over this article. Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. From them reminding me that they use cookies, which is totally off my plan, to insisting that I read whatever they pop up. Stop. Okay. So it says they're all centered on plant foods, not meat. But the most fruit-centered is the Adventists in Loma Linda, California, and they're still only at 27% fruit. Find the full diet breakdown here. And of course, they have a thing for it. There's more evidence showing that humans tend to do best on broadly plant-focused diets. Only herbivores get atherosclerosis on a meat-based diet. Dogs, lions, and tigers can be given excess saturated fat and cholesterol from meat, and it doesn't cause them to get clogged arteries. But for us, meat does cause atherosclerosis over time, same as for other herbivores. A plant-based diet can reverse heart disease. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in America, and a plant-based diet is the only diet ever shown to reverse heart disease in the majority of patients when combined with other healthy lifestyle changes. Only vegans have LDL cholesterol levels in the ideal range. In one study, omnivores, so meat eaters, averaged an LDL cholesterol of 123 milligrams DL, whereas vegans averaged 69 milligrams DL. The average has been noted to be between 50 and 70. Only vegans have an average BMI in the healthy range. On average, omnivores are overweight. On average, even pescatarians, so those who eat fish, right? And lacto-ovo, so those who still do milk and eggs. Vegetarians are a bit overweight. Only vegans fall into the healthy body mass index range. I'm not there yet, but people, it's coming. I assure you, it's coming. Are human frugivores or some other kind of herbivores? Personally, I'm more convinced by the evidence for plant-based diets more broadly compared to the evidence of a high-fruit diet specifically. Despite occasional glowing frugitarian success stories, I see many examples of people struggling with fruitarian diets. Acne, weight gain or unhealthy weight loss, hair loss, cavities, low muscle mass, and possible pancreas issues. I could be wrong, but I think it's fair to say a fruitarian diet is not the best overall diet for the majority of people today. At the same time, I find strong evidence that broadly based plant-based diets, the herbivore diet, does lead to human thriving. It's led to the longest lived populations, heart disease reversal, ideal BMI, ideal LDL cholesterol level, and more benefits I didn't even cover here. So are humans meant to eat mostly fruit? I would sum up the story like this. 1, humans inherited the bodily equipment of a frugivore omnivore from our primate relatives. Bump. 2, we still have mostly the same digestive system as our frugivore cousins. 3, humans have shown remarkable dietary flexibility throughout evolutionary history. We can live on many diets, including plastic and food-like products. 4, in practice, humans today seem to get the best results on a mostly plant-based diet. There is more evidence showing peak health on a high starch or high vegetable diet than high fruit specifically. It makes sense that our ideal diet would be at least somewhat similar to our primate cousins, which is mostly but not strictly herbivorous. Herbivorous? But there's also good evidence we've adapted to a high starch consumption compared to other primates. Some people seem to do very well on a high fruit diet, but there are also significant risks when focused narrowly on fruit long term, and it doesn't go well for everyone. Ultimately, I would really call us frugivores, but we do bear a lot of resemblance to them. Oh, I wouldn't call us that, but we bear resemblance to them, and we probably come from frugivore ancestors. Dun, 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 dun. All right, well, anyway, that's that person's conclusion. I am starting to melt. What is it? Oh, it's 103. It's still 103. Hey, side note, what? I know, I got my eyebrows done today. Just trying to care for myself. People, it's a tough one. You know, I am a Tanny Raw star. You heard it here. Tanny Raw, if you don't know her, she is a health advocate on every health platform. And she has what's called the Tanny Raw Reset. It is starting up very soon and the window will be closing. If you're going to go for it, you've got to go for it in like the next 48 hours, seriously. TannyRaw.com. Anyway, though, it's so beautiful because she literally does like 35 hours of long live content over 28 days in a private Facebook group of like-minded people. And it's really brilliant on just teaching you the better way. And I have learned from Tanny Raw so many really important things regarding eating primarily fruit to get the calories, absolutely eating all of the greens to keep that blood sugar in balance, putting in, and again, rotating those grains, putting in those healthy plant-based fats in moderation, and rotating those as well, whether it's the nut butter, the avocado, the hemp seeds, the chia seeds, like all of those things, whether it's, power greens or romaine versus plain old spinach, and just the importance of rotating everything. And then of course, getting the majority of calories from fruit. So I love that. And she has so many creative ways to get that done. whether it's things in the dehydrator, whether it's fantastic smoothies every single day, whether it's eating your smoothie by literally eating the fruit and vegetables. I find that she has a really good balance there. She does not do any cooked food. That's why she's Tanny raw. She eats raw. I've said that I'm plant-based vegan. I do prefer raw. I think it really does serve me, but I do occasionally have a cooked element. But even that cooked element, of course, is completely plant-based vegan. I don't like junk food vegan. I try not to have processed anything if I can help it. So what I mean by that is, let's say that I ended up doing something like chickpeas, right? If I wanted to do chickpeas, I wouldn't cook them. I would probably soak them. And then ultimately, after soaking them 24 hours and softening them, they start to open up a little bit. I would go ahead and blend them and make them like into a hummus, right? So that's like as close as I would get on that. Or of course, sprouting any of the different things, whether it's lentils, to sprout those or make microgreens out of them. So fun. I definitely love to make wraps. I absolutely use all of the different types of seaweeds and of course nori wraps. The rice in a fantastic sushi nori wrap would be something more like cauliflower. So, I appreciate that these people use a very small percent of fruit. It was a surprise to me to see those, and that the Okinawans, live for their yams. And presuming that you can get some really healthy yams here, that'd be great. The thing is, our soil's depleted and we just don't have access to pure food the way that we used to, unfortunately. But God is bigger, and I'm trusting him, and I'm still going to go with plenty of fruit, tons of greens, all the vegetables I can find, and just trust the process, But this was an interesting article, to be sure. So, as always, if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below, what did you think? Do you need to go back and listen to the first part too? Are you going to read the article for yourself? Of course, I'll put it in the description of this video. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that. The end of the line is that the best diet is the one you'll do, okay? The one you actually live by is the best one, always. So let's be fair about that. If you're struggling to actually consume whatever it is, it's not going to be sustainable for you. So fortunately, I love fruit and vegetables. I love healthy fats. Some things I've had to kind of think of as medicinal because it wasn't fabulous, but I was like, I can think of this as medicine. And as my taste buds have changed, it's gotten better. So some things you just have to parent yourself and say, you know what? Too bad. This is the better thing to do. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.